Welcome back to In Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack. We are trudging on. We still got more Q posts to do. If you have not caught my part one from earlier, please go back and check that out. Dated the same day, but we are going to get right back where we left you off here with this watch, 32:30, 27 minutes after the hour of 7. Q gives us this previous Q proof, and let me go ahead and blow it up for you over here. And we saw this post here back on January 5th, 2019, and we saw this watch again on March 2nd, 2019, and the watch was set to the time 3:15 over here. Over here, it was set to 3:42, and then we see the proof here in the POTUS schedule, March 15 being 3:15. Declaration of a national emergency on the southern border was authorized by U.S. Attorney General William Barr in the Oval Office at 3:42 p.m. So that was our connection, our Q proof right there. We had a lot of guesses as to what these watches would be set to. We were pretty sure something was going to happen on the 15th. We weren't exactly sure what. It turned out to be this national emergency at 3:42. So it looks like Q wants to play this game again. Q says, shall we play another Q proof game? Yes, Q, with all this spare time I've got time for games. Let's move on. 28 minutes after the hour of 7, we begin. Ready, sir? And we get this watch right here. Now we're going to take a look at it in a second. Q says marker 1, set, Q. And then we see another marker in the next post right here, 33 minutes after the hour of 7. We see a second watch. That's the first one. And then we see this second one right here. And Q says marker 2, set. Now, the first one appears to be set to 4:49 on the 19th. That's 4:49 on the 19th. And then we have this one here, which appears to be 3:05 on the 27th.
Boom! Yo! Maths! The thing go quick maths.
I don't really do the quick maths because I don't understand the quick maths. So you guys can tell me what you think down below. I don't really want to muddy up your opinions if you guys got some good ideas on these numbers, but those are the numbers that I am seeing. And just like the watches beforehand, I have a feeling that we still are going to get some news that are probably going to be sort of a future proofs past kind of thing. But I'd love to know your thoughts without me sullying them because I don't really have any at this moment. But let's go ahead and move on to 32:33. 46 minutes after the hour of 7, Q says reflections are important. They are indeed. And we're going to talk a little bit more on that here. Let's go to the next post, 32:34, 50 minutes after the hour of 7. Q adds on by saying, find the reflection inside the castle. Well, Q has referred to the castle before quite a few times. Now, I don't think Q is referring to the red castle, green castle like before, which is a reference to the Army Corps of Engineers. But I think we're talking about White House, the White House being the castle that needs to be protected. So from inside the castle, we're looking for a reflection. And I think many of you guys have already caught on to it. We see these reflections in these watches over here. And if you look at this one a little bit closer, you can see that we have a reflection of a man right there in the ridge of this watch here. Now, it looks to me like that could be the POTUS themselves. Not really sure. You can tell me what you think. And Anon's got a pretty interesting working theory right here. If you look at the picture on the left, that is our marker 2 watch right there. And there looks to be a little bit of hue of light in the face of the watch there. And the Anon is suspecting that maybe this could be coming from the Oval Office. After all, if we are in the castle, that would make sense, right? So in the picture of the office here, you'll see this blue block here saying watch facing. I would assume that this would be roughly where the watch could be facing outward to get that reflection. And it looks like it could be kind of the same hue coming from off of that window there. And then they're pointing out to the reflections on the wall and the door over here. So pretty interesting. And I tend to think that they could be close, if not exactly correct. Well, they are not the only one reflecting. Looks like U.S. and ambassador to the UK, Ambassador Woody Johnson, is also reflecting. He says, "I'm reflecting tonight after watching this 1944 footage of American troops plus nurses arriving in the UK ahead of what would be the largest seaborne invasion in history. How many made it home? An awesome sacrifice that we must never forget." And the YouTube link takes you to some video of American troops arriving in the UK. Very interesting stuff. Well, while we're all reflecting on that, let's move on to 3235. 52 minutes out to the hour of 7, key response to an Anon who salutes and says, "And Hannity in 10." And Hannity was giving an interview with the POTUS. We're going to talk about that in just a second, but let's move on to 3236, 28 minutes out to the hour of 10, where we get this Fox News link to the interview. Q says, "Did you enjoy the interview?" Now, the title says, "Trump vows to release FISA docs now that Mueller probe is concluded. Slams treasonous FBI." And there was a lot of gold in a rather long interview. It was about a 15-minute interview here. We're not going to play it all, but don't worry, your brother gave you some highlights.
Well, when I said there could be somebody spying on my campaign, a lot of things happened. It was like it went wild out there. They couldn't believe that I could say such a thing. And as it turned out, that was small potatoes compared to what went on. When you look at what happened and when it happened and the money that was spent, the millions and millions on the phony dossier, and then they used the dossier to start things, and there was no truth whatsoever. It was a fraud, and paid for by Hillary Clinton and paid for by the Democrats and the DNC. And we're getting to the bottom of it, and it's got to be. I mean, you can never allow this to happen to another president. This can never, ever happen to a president again, Sean. That was a disgrace and an embarrassment to our country that they were allowed to get away with this, and hopefully they won't get away with it. Comey, who's a terrible guy, Comey and McCabe and Strzok and Page, the lover Page, and all of these people, they've admitted in testimony that there was no crime. So they started an investigation based on no crime. I will say this, our new Attorney General, Bill Barr, is a great gentleman, and I've heard about him for years. He's a great man. Had he been there initially, this all would not have happened, because what's gone on there is just a disgrace to our country.
And what should be pursued or not pursued, in your opinion?
Well, I'm going to leave that to our new Attorney General, who's been so incredible, actually, and that's based on a lot of people saying this is a very, very special person, and that's what you need in that position. That's a very important position. You need so many different, you need genius, you need rationality, you need so many different levels of good. And I'm also going to leave it to Lindsey Graham. He's head of Judiciary and Senate, and a very, very good guy and a very smart guy. And, you know, I'm just going to let them do whatever they want to do. And I would imagine they don't like what they see, to put it mildly, but you'd have to ask them. I think it's much more appropriate. I purposely didn't want to involve myself in this whole thing. Just in case Hillary Clinton lost, they wanted an insurance policy against me. And what we were playing out until just recently was the insurance policy. They wanted to do a subversion. It was treason. It was really treason. If the Republican Party had done this to the Democrats, if we had done this to President Obama, you'd have 100 people in jail right now, and it would be treason. It would be considered treason, and they'd be in jail for the rest of their lives.
Make your dreams come true. Just do it.
In 50 years from now, in 100 years from now, if somebody tries the same thing, they have to know that the penalty will be very, very great if and when they get caught.
You lose.
And the importance is so what it meant to our country. It's a very, very dark period, and I think maybe we're shedding a lot of light. We're gonna come into a bright, beautiful, sunny day. But when you mentioned General Flynn, he was a man who had a incredible record in the military. You see what happened to him. The FBI said he wasn't lying, as I understand it, and the Mueller group said he was lying, and you know what he's gone through, and what so many others have gone through. I could name names that would just go on for the entire, your entire show. It's a very, very sad thing. I don't want to talk about pardons now, but I can say it's so sad on so many levels.
Okay, so lots of interesting takeaways from the video, and unfortunately, the most important one that I wanted to share with you, I couldn't get on the video. As a matter of fact, the live feed that I share with you guys on Twitter ended up cutting off through part of this interview. Very interesting stuff, but let me go ahead and read it from Fox here. President Trump, in an exclusive wide-ranging interview Wednesday night with Fox Hannity, vowed to release the full and unredacted FISA warrants and related documents used by the FBI to probe his campaign, saying he wants to get to the bottom of how the long-running Russia collusion narrative began. Now listen carefully. Trump told anchor Sean Hannity that his lawyers previously had advised him not to take that dramatic step out of fear that it could be considered obstruction of justice, which is exactly what Comey is trying to threaten, right? Trump says, I have plans to declassify and release. I have plans to absolutely release, Trump said. I have some very talented people working for me, lawyers, and they really didn't want me to do it early on. A lot of people wanted me to do it a long time ago. I'm glad I didn't do it. We got a great result without having to do it, but we will. And like I've said on this channel many times before, oftentimes the threat of that FISA declass was getting the same desired results. One of the reasons that my lawyers did not want me to do it is they said if I do it, they'll call it a form of obstruction. Trump added, frankly, thought it would be better if we held it to the end, but at the right time, we will be absolutely releasing.
And you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for?
I know. Well, so does the POTUS, and it looks like at some point it will be done. Let's move on to 32:37, 32 minutes after the hour of 10. We get another Fox link regarding our gay Tupac, Mr. Biggie Smollett. Smollett damage control seen in internal email from Fox's office as she defends alternative prosecution model. An internal email from the office of Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx, obtained by Fox News on Wednesday, asked Assistant State's Attorney to dig for any examples to bolster Fox's claim that the drop charges in the Jussie Smollett case weren't as uncommon or shocking as they seem. And if you guys remember from yesterday's video, if you haven't seen it, this Jussie Smollett charges were dropped in regards to this creating this fake hate crime. And I'd like to correct myself. Actually, some of you guys corrected me yesterday, and it's a good time to point it out. Some of you guys said, Patrick, there was some video. I said yesterday that I didn't remember any video, but there was video. There was video of these two white supremacists from Nigeria at a hardware store. They were buying the rope and they were buying bleach and da-da-da-da. Thank you. That's right. There was video of that. Thank you. I was just simply referring to the text and the phone messages, but that's right. There also is video in this too. But after all this happened, this ends up getting dropped by the state attorney, Kim Foxx, and then she recused herself. So it looks like this internal email was going through all their employees trying to find examples to make their decision look like it was credible. The email read in part, we are looking for examples of cases, felony preferable, where we, in exercising our discretion, have entered into verbal agreements with defense attorneys to dismiss charges against an offender if certain conditions were met. Translation, we want to find other times when we've done something as stupid as this. The email added, nobody is in trouble. We are just looking for further examples of how we as prosecutors use our discretion in a way that restores the victim. It was not clear who sent it. Of course it wasn't, and exactly when it was sent. Fox recused herself from the case last February, but defended her office, offering Smollett an alternative prosecution model in a series of interviews Wednesday. An internal email from Kim Foxx's office obtained by Fox News asked workers to dig for examples, bolstering Fox's claim that the drop charges in the Jussie Smollett case weren't as uncommon or shocking as they seemed. Well, the only thing that's not shocking about that is the fact that you did something so stupid as to cover that up. Well, Q seems rather unfazed by this, saying feds, DOJ will prosecute. Well, I'm assuming you're answering it here by saying it shall be done, and I'm wondering if this greater than, less than symbol is implying that this will be following an impending unsealed indictment. Not really sure, but I feel like we are not yet done with Biggie Smollett, and it's going to get a little bit bigger than that. This is going to go into some of our Democratic activists, if you will, and Miss Fox is going to be reckoned with. I have a feeling Kamala Harris, Cory Booker are going to be reckoned with. Who knows where this could end if it ends up going going up to Tina Chen and all the way up to Obama. Who really knows? But it looks like a lot of people were implicated in this situation, and that's why they rushed so quickly to scrub this. And then, of course, the story that we just read shows that they clearly felt bad about that. They were trying to cover that up too. We're not done with you, Biggie Smollett. More to come on that soon. Post 32:38, 44 minutes after the hour of 10. We get this picture right here. It says Chicago needs another hero. And this is actually one of our favorite Patriots who has made a few banners around here. This looks to be in Chicago, some overpass. I'm not sure if they see the same thing on the outside there, but anybody going over this bridge sees this. Patriots are in control. Q, very cool. And Q confirms. Very, very nice. Well, we find out who the culprit is here in the next post. 32:39, 52 minutes after the hour of 10. We get this Twitter status right here. To Veronica P. Walski. This is me, Where We Go On, We Go All.com, in case I can't find you on the Where We Go On, We Go All site. Thanks, Patriots. And here's another picture of some banners. Trust the plan out in front of Trump Tower there. Very, very cool. Nice. And I believe this Veronica makes banners all over the place and has made banners for other activities as well. So this is very cool. Thanks, Veronica. And nice on the Q shot out there. Very well deserved. Q says, we see you, Patriot. Indeed, we do, Veronica. Thanks for all you do. It's nice getting the word out that way. We need people like this. Chicago needs another hero, and it looks like they got one. They got Veronica. Let's move on to 32:40. Where Anon says Q is everywhere. Q says we are everywhere. Well, indeed, we are everywhere. Q is everywhere, and we are Q. And if Q are we, then we are everywhere.
Boom. 2 + 2 is 4. -1, that's 3. Quick maths.
Quick math. Ladies and gentlemen, those are your Q posts for now. As always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. Thanks to all of you who do that already. And if you are new to this channel, please keep in mind that all those things are going to get undone from time to time. Sorry, that's just the way social media is. My alternate links are down below. My Gab, my BitChute, my Real.video, which is now Brighteon.com. And of course, I'm over here at Twitter at IPOT1776. That's at IPOT1776. Also, my email link is down below. My P.O. box is down below, and my Patreon link is down below if you'd like to support the channel. All those links are down below. All right, kids, I'm going to go get some rest because I have a feeling we're going to get another slew of Q coming very soon. Until next time, this is Sir Patrick Mack. Stay free.